Welcome back to episode 16, where we finally made it to file imports into our language. So basic file imports, kind of C style. So we're going to just have the import keyword with a string with the file path to this file. And in there, I just created a math.lime file in the same directory as test. And in math.lime, I just have one function named add that takes in two integers, returns an integer, and just adds them together and returns the result. So in test.lime, I'm importing it here, and then I'm going to use it only when I equals 1 in this for loop. I'm just going to print out I plus 8 equals %I, and that %I is going to be I plus 8, calling that add function. So we don't have it declared anywhere in this file. It is in a different file, so we've imported it. So now that we have our test.lime file figured out, we're going to move into our first area, which is of course the token. In our keywords section of token type, we're going to add import equals import. Now that we add this, we can go into our token, or below our token class, to our keywords mapping, or our dictionary. We're going to add a new one in here for our import keyword. We're going to map that to token.import. Token type.import. And in our alt keywords, to make it Gen Z safe, we're going to give this one gib. We'll do gib. So token type.import is going to be mapped to gib as well. And that will be all for our token type. We don't need our lexer, so we can go into our AST. Scroll all the way up to our node types. In our statements, we're going to add our import statement node type. Import statement equals import statement. We're going to scroll down to the bottom of our statements region underneath for, and we'll paste in our import statement node. The only thing this takes in is a file path, so we're just setting a file path property. Everything else is as we usually do it. We can save that as well and move it into our parser. Go up to the very top in our statements block here. I'm going to import the import statement. We're going to scroll down to parse statement function in our parsers class. Scroll down all these functions we've made. Parse statement. Down below for, we'll add a new case. Token type.import. And we're going to return a self.__parse, not assignment statement. It'll be a import statement function. Now we're going to implement this import statement. So at the very bottom of our statement methods block, underneath parse for, we're going to add a def parse import statement. It's going to take in self. It's going to return back our import statement node. First thing we're going to do is we're going to make sure the next token is a string. So if not, self.expectPeak, token type.string. We'll return none. We're going to set a statement variable equal to, go ahead and add typing to, equal to a import statement class where the file path is equal to the current token.literal. We'll make sure there's a semicolon. So if not, self.expectPeak token type dot semicolon. Return none there. And if all is good, we'll just return that import statement. Really short on the parser, so we'll go into our compiler. Scroll to the very top. First thing, we'll import our import statement node. Next, we'll go up here to the top. We'll import the OS package so we can have file path access. And then below this environment import, we'll add two more. So from our lexer file, import our lexer class. And from our parser file, we'll import our parser class. In our initialize method for the compiler, we'll scroll all the way down under here. I'm going to paste this in with the comment. So this is just going to keep a reference to our parsed palettes. So anything that's been imported, it's going to keep a reference to its program node. It's just a dictionary with a string in the program node. So the palette's name or what I'm calling in this language palettes. People would say modules, stuff like that. Yes, packages, whatever you're calling it. I'm calling them palettes of limes. Now we can scroll down to the compile method. Add a new case under for statement for our node type import statement. We're going to have a new function __ visit import statement. We'll pass in the node as well for that. So I'll control click on for statement because we need to probably go below this one, which we do. So below the for statement visit function, we need to create our visit import statement function. Self, take in the import statement node, and this will not return anything. First thing, we'll break apart our nodes, so all we have is a file path. Equals node.filepath. Now we need to make sure that we haven't imported this before. So if self.global parsed palettes.get the file path is not none. So if something exists, there's a key with that file path. If it exists, that means we've already parsed this before, so we need to error out, or a warning, I guess. So I'll print that little warning in here. So print line warning, this file path is already imported globally. Then we'll return out. Now, if we haven't imported this before, we're going to open up that file path. So with open os.path.absolute path. Do an f-string tests / file path. Now for you, you can make this more generic, but everything that I'm going to use in my test is going to be in this directory. So I'm going to go ahead and tell it here in the source code, but you can alter this and get rid of it if you want. This is going to be a read. We're going to read function this as f in the palettes code. So string is going to be the result of us reading that file. So f.read. Now we do similar to what we do in the main function to run our code in the first place. We're going to set a variable L to an instance of our lexer. So where the source is the palette code. We're going to have the p variable for our parser, where the source, or it's an instance of our parser, where the lexer is the one we just made. We're going to get a program node out of this. This program equals p.parseProgram. If the length of the errors in the parser is greater than 0, we want to print f error with imported palette, and we'll put in the file path in there. For error in the parser's errors list, we want to print the error, and then we'll just call the exit function and just break out of our compiler here. Now if everything's good, we want to compile, self.compile that program, where node equals program. So since we're using the compile method here already inside of our compiler, whatever scope or environment that we're in right now, that's where all of these functions and variables will be declared to. So that's why we're compiling that node program into our already compiled environment. And then once we've finished compiling, we can set our global parsed palettes at the file path index equal to our program node. So now for whatever reason, if we need to get a specific reference to this imported code at this file path, we have a program AST that we can draw from. And that's pretty much it. We can save that, go into our test.lime file. We'll make this terminal a little bigger, and we'll run python main.py. And after 1 millisecond, we have right here I equals 0, goes along the loop. Now I equals 1, so now we're printing I plus 8 equals 9. So I plus 8, 1 plus 8 equals 9. So I'll put 500 here, and this should be 501. We run it again, 501. So importing is now working, so you can add any functions here. It's more of a globalized import system, which you can modify and add, or I can make some new episodes later on about it. But this should get you started. But thank you guys for watching. Our second to last episode for right now is going to be episode 17, is where I'm going to show you how we can export our full language to an exe, so that way we can add it to our path variable and install it as if this was a professionalized language that you've installed, like Python or Golang or anything like that. So thank you guys for watching, and I will see you in 17.